From 32 teams to now just 4, we find ourselves here at the DreamHack Pro Circuit in the semifinals. Savage, Dignitas, NRG, and Vitality have managed to make it through the ranks here and make it to those semifinals. I am Wade Dreadnought Penfold, and I will be your host. And as always, here up at the desk, I have some of those great minds to be able to break down the action within Gibbs and Achieves. Guys, some closing thoughts here over Flipside and Vitality, because that was a very tense series.
That series, like, honestly, Flipside, we were going to say it, like, if Flipside won that might have been the luckiest win we've ever seen. Just such fluky plays, but Vitality, they pull it off, they get the win. They're now top 4. And everyone was expecting them to maybe bottom out again, but they're proving people wrong here.
They've shown that, yes, they've figured out how to play as a team and not double commit all over the place and give up free goals until they gave up some free goals.
That's the most important thing. No double commits. Not that many, at least.
They got to play as a team, and they've earned their way into the semifinals here, so we'll see if they can keep that up.
Well, guys, we do have some more series here still at hand that we have between Team Dignitas and Savage, and this one is going to be a bit of a doozy in the fact that, you know, we have in Savage, they've been able to step up and just really impress a lot of the performance here. As we can take a glance at the bracket as we break this down, and just the fact that they have stepped up and made it this far into the tournament against the Titans known as Team Dignitas.
So we see the day 3 competition here where Savage has to take on a team of G2 that was looking really strong, and obviously Dignitas is playing against that Cinderella story, but it's a team that Dignitas knows that they can beat. They played relatively safe. They only scored 5 goals in 3 games, but they got the job done. So maybe a little bit of warm-up for Savage, more so than Dignitas, but it's funny because I feel like Dignitas, they took out the Cinderellas. Now they have to take out the actual, like, real Cinderellas that have a chance to win the whole thing. The upgraded Cinderella with Savage, so we'll see if they can take them both out, the 2 underdogs in varying degrees, I guess.
And Savage's run was also very different today than we've seen them be throughout the rest of the tournament. I mean, every time we saw them on stream earlier, they blew people out of the water with the offense, and they got through onto the semifinals with their defense versus G2. So are you going to get that Savage that's been crushing everybody in days 1 and 2, or are they going to be on the back foot and allow Dignitas a little bit of extra space?
And I think one thing that we have to point out here, which I'm not sure, I don't believe either one you kind of reiterate, is that we are now in the best of 7 status.
Yes.
And the fact that in the best of 7 status, I think that changes some of our thought process when analyzing the series. At least it seems to, from my perspective.
That absolutely helps Dignitas, I feel like, because they played so many more best of 7 series. They have that experience. Savage is a team that people call, they're so hard to scrim against because you just don't know what you're going to get out of them. But in a best of 7 series, you see some more games from them, you see some more habits, and Dignitas is one of those teams that can figure that out and try and adapt on the fly.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think the best of 7 also plays well into Dignitas because, you know, even if you lose games 1 and 2, you still got 2 more games to lose before you're done, and that definitely will play well.
I think it's going to be a very interesting series, but it is time to get this thing started. We're going to go ahead and kick off this series. And here they are, the team that has crushed 2 of the 3 of the big 3 in North America. The team that has been recently crowned your Renegade Cup champions and the newest addition to the European RLCS. Please welcome to the stage here, Savage.
Man, Tivo is so old. He probably should have been in the back row, honestly. Yeah. They planned that a little wrong. He's kind of hiding Alpha and Bluey there, but so much experience on this roster with a rookie. You know, you have Bluey and Devo, just so much experience there. And Alpha, that rookie that's playing so well.
A rookie that is playing very, very well, but here on the other side, it is the team that is your 8-time LAN Grand Finalist, the organization with the longest winning streak in Rocket League history, and a team here that used to be living up to, or trying to live up to the legacy of their 2-time championship. Please welcome to the stage here, ladies and gentlemen, Dignitas.
That's fair. Bit of a reaction from the crowd, and I was curious what they were going to get now that they're no longer the team that everyone's gunning for. And there's a fair few fans there, and like you were talking about in their game versus Zulu, they just didn't make any mistakes. And this, I think, is quite an interesting matchup versus Savage, because again, I've been calling Savage Cloud9 mirror matchup. And historically, Dignitas, over the past couple of events, struggled very mightily versus Cloud9. But it's kind of an interesting thing. Savage is not Cloud9. While they may play similar, they are not Cloud9. So do you get the same struggles out of Dignitas versus Savage?
Well, and that's, I feel like, such an interesting conversation as we look closer here towards Savage, just based on the fact that though they are not Cloud9, they did dominate over Cloud9 in this tournament so far here. And so I think that's interesting with that dynamic going against Dig.
And Devo, he's looking like World Championship form once again. Bluey, the leader on this team. Let's not forget the very first series that we even watched of all DreamHack Leipzig on day number 1, they got swept by Rogue and they had to bounce back through the lower bracket. And that man right there, Alpha, the first time he's not playing on a laptop. I think they earned enough money here to buy him pretty nice setup at home now. So we'll see if he starts playing there. He's playing phenomenal. This team is firing on all cylinders.
Devo was definitely the man with the plan for Savage earlier on in the day, just because that guy was winning challenges left and right, getting them the ball. So I look for him to have another big series if they want to win.
So the most surprising answer to me from Yukio earlier from Team Dignitas here was that they don't have a game plan for Savage. It's the same game plan that they had versus Echo Zulu. I'm not sure if that's going to work, honestly, just because they can't allow a Savage that much time, maybe, or they're going to need some more offense. I wonder, because they played the Boost Starve game. They played the Boost Starve game versus Echo Zulu. Can you do that versus Savage, or are they too fast?
Well, you have to.
And will they get the boost before them?
No, you definitely have to play the Boost Starve game versus Savage, just because, again, if you play like Savage and you're approaching that same idea as very aggressive, always in your face challenging, it costs a lot of boost. If you do win the boost game as Dignitas, you beat Savage.
But there is one guarantee. You have to score more than 5 goals in 3 games to beat this Savage team. That is for sure.
That is true.
So offense has to be a focus here for Team Dignitas and finding a way to use that cohesion that we've kind of come to know and love here of this roster. Man, this series here for me it's a hard one to be able to gauge just based off of the recent results here from the squads. And you know, one thing that I think has got to be a talking point that I've been bringing up a lot is how is Alpha do against these big boys, and Dignitas here specifically. I really want to know if he in fact is going to be able to thrive. Do you guys have some insight on whether or not you think that is true?
I think he will, because he thrived versus Cloud9, he thrived versus G2. I believe that this is going to be a very competitive series, and I think Alpha will fit right in.
I don't know, because again, I feel like it's really on Devo and Bluey to get the ball and get opportunities for Alpha. So I don't think the pressure is as much on Alpha. It's, does he get opportunities? If he does, then it's like, all right, Alpha, now prove why you're here. But I think it's all about how Devo and Bluey are shaping up versus Turbo and Violent Panda.
All right, guys. Well, it's time for our first best of 7 of the day. And with that consideration, what are those predictions here? Dignitas or Savage?
Oh, this is tough. I'm going to go, so it's old school versus new school, basically.
Yeah.
And you have to respect your elders. You have to go Dignitas here. Like, I think this is one of those learning experiences for Savage. Dignitas might smack him around. Who knows? We'll see. I'm going Dignitas here. I'm going to go 4-1. Dignitas.
Ooh.
He's put numbers to it.
All right. Okay, here's the best part. Literally everything you just said, agreed. I'm also on Team Dignitas. I think the experience definitely plays well for them. The added series length will let them figure, if they need time, figure it out. But Savage are playing incredibly well this weekend, so 4-2.
Very important games, though, are games 1 and 2, I feel like. Savage needs to come out firing on all cylinders, because if Dig takes those, it could be over quickly.
Yeah, I agree. It's, you know, does Dig even need the time? And a lot of that will be based on those games 1 and 2. And for me, I'm going to stick with Dignitas as well. A lot of the logic there is behind that best of 7. This team recovers whenever things get a little bit wild, and giving them that many games is a lot of time to just go, what's been going wrong? What do we need to figure out here? And looking at your votes here at home, 66% sit on the side of Savage.
It makes sense. All the Dignitas fans were out there cheering for him when they won.
Exactly.
So that's fair. That's fair.
And it's the new age now Cinderella here, so they got to vote for Savage here.
Well, we got a European matchup, and it is in our best interest to provide our European commentators. And we're going to go ahead and bring in Johnny Boy and Shogun. Guys, what are your thoughts here on this matchup?
I think the old saying is styles make matchups, and we're now going to be able to see the best offense we've seen all weekend against the best defense. So I really don't know what to expect here, because I completely agree with what the desk said. Games 1 and 2 are the most important.
Yeah, can't agree more. Although I do think I'm swinging more to the side of Savage than anyone that I've heard yet. I could really see a win here if, like they've been talking about, we start off strong in game 1.
Well, let's go ahead and start off these semifinals.
So, Bluey, the only defending DreamHack champion we have got left, all on his lonesome in that regard. We had coming into this round Cloud9, we still had Flipside up until the very last round. Now he's all by himself. He is the only person that has seen that trophy raised above his head before.
Yeah, we've also said goodbye now at this stage to all three of the last LAN champions for Rocket League Majors. Of course, Flipside, TSM, and Cloud9 all eliminated. So we're going to see a pretty new winner. You know, you think about Dignitas and you think, well, they're not new winners. They've been winning everything recently, but it's actually a while since they've won something. RLCS Season 5 and then Northern Arena Invitational 2 were the brace that they were able to get last year. Yukio, the new addition, has never won a major, so we're going to get at least one new champion today.
If Dignitas are eliminated here, then we'd have to go all the way back to DreamHack Leipzig last year to get a different winner. Is this the changing of the guard, or are Dignitas still the rock to beat? It's going to get ourselves into game number 1. Remember, best of 7 now that we've reached the semi-finals.
Chance for Bluey early. He's got saved by Violent Panda at the near post. At least he's tested him. A lot of teams today have been struggling to find a target early on. And Violent Panda has answered with a strong save to a very quick shot from Bluey.
Devo put down to Turbo. It's going to be Dignitas launching the first bit of their offense for this series. These long clears became such a huge factor between Vitality and Flipside. Here's going to be off the backboard, full up from Turbo, smothered by Alpha.
So just chaotic defensive play by Savage, but they get one man in the way of the final shot. Dignitas, the best chance that we might see for a while. They are such a good team defensively at the moment. And with how well Devo was breaking up offensive plays versus G2, and the clutch saves that Bluey's been making all tournament, I think Savage are going to be tough to score on as well.
Devo tries to play down the line. But he's just trying to see whether or not Yukio would want to touch that back to him. There's been a few of those plays this weekend. Yukio knowing better than to do that. 2 boosts on the side of Alpha. If he can get anything from this, it'll be quite miraculous. As Turbo booms the ball long.
Nice play by Devo to interfere again with the Dignitas play. But look at that shot from Yukio. He's first on the scene in the middle of the pitch. And with how fast Alpha and the rest of Savage have been playing today, that is an impressive feat. Top corner. Dignitas, 1-0.
And for Yukio, that's such a huge goal to score as well. We saw so many times on day 1 where he was getting given those opportunities and he just couldn't get the power on the shot. It was not accurate enough. To see him scoring those now is going to be huge. As Violent Panda with a monumental flick. Turbo with the follow, and that's 2-0.
Violent Panda surprising the Savage defense with this one. I think it was a touch that they should really be expecting from a player of Violent Panda's caliber, but they tried to beat him to it, and again Dignitas are a little bit too fast. 2-0. This is exactly the start that Savage fans will be worried about. Let's see how they can respond.
Panda does get bumped and Bluey can come take over, but it's another weak touch to the other side of the field. Savage struggling at the moment to really play out their own side of the field with any sort of real danger to them. It's now going to be Violent Panda to the wall. It's got Yukio, Violent Panda up in support, but Savage can clear along. Savage got 3 minutes to turn this around.
So far, Dignitas, hard clear after hard clear, causing tons of problems for Savage, and another one by Violent Panda will be met by himself at the follow-up off the ceiling. 3-0, Dignitas are peaking at the right time.
And if you thought those hard clears were going to be troublesome beforehand, now that Savage has 3 goals down, they've got to keep moving forward. They've got to keep the offensive line as high as they can get it. And it just means that Dignitas can keep launching. Game 1 working out perfectly, and that could have been an own goal. Devo just had to try and avoid that one.
And now you've got to wonder about the Savage players' mentality against such a scary opponent. Are they going to have what it takes to come back? Did not look strong when they went down against Rogue on day 1. That was also a pretty explosive start by their opponents. So it's a real test here for Savage. Certainly the biggest test that they've faced since they started teaming up together. Last man for Dig stays solid in defense.
Bluey to the wall. Camille's trying to take over, but Yukio's clear yet again, and every single one of these clears is making it to the other side of the field. burns another 15 seconds off the clock, especially when Turbo can follow it like this. Savage finally getting some passing plays together. But those back boosts of theirs have, more often than not, belonged to Dignitas. That is a poor play though from Violent Panda. Will not be punished for it. Yukio can push it across.
Yeah, I'll be very impressed if Savage can answer such a scary-looking Dignitas team. Because right now, it doesn't look like they have any weaknesses. They're defending everything high. Whenever Savage tried to dribble, just gets shut down with ease by Dignitas. You saw just a couple minutes ago, Turbo walked in, challenged 2 players on the ground, but hold on, that might be a chance. It's going to be a chance for Devo. Oh well, maybe this is how they're going to come back. Just roll the ball in slowly right in the corner.
Yeah, Alpha doing his best to take Turbo out of the play. Made it the angles just that much more difficult for him. 2 goals needed. 1 minute 23 on the clock. Savage finally find themselves on the board. They need better kickoffs than this because Turbo Pulsar is able to take it. Won't be able to steal any boost, but they want to engage in a long, clear battle with Dignitas.
And now the demo plays are starting to come in. This was working wonders for them against G2 earlier today. Like you mentioned, they had the bump onto the final defender just moments ago when they did get their first goal. So it looks like Savage, as their name would suggest, are going to try and come back into this one. A little bit of savagery.
For them to get those plays going, it requires them to have pressure on Dignitas, where you can do that sweep across play that they were doing from boost to boost, take out a player. But you can't do that when you don't have possession. You can't do it when you don't have pressure. Dignitas have been able to avoid that so far. Savage need to try and find a way of pinning back their opponents. But right now, it's all about finding a way to not let this one in. Devo, all by himself for the time being. Alpha just dives past that one. Yukio has that in! Lofted over the defense.
2 players for Savage on the goal line. Neither one of them able to catch this one. Dignitas continue to dominate at the edge of Savage box for this entire game. It looked like Bluey was trying to make an in and out save there, but it went a bit too early. With a 3-goal lead re-established, I just don't see Savage coming back in game 1. And it might be lucky for them that it's the best of 7 after a bad start like this.
Dignitas just seem to have a pace that is so hard to deal with. What was the old saying? You know what Dignitas are trying to do? You still know what's coming towards you, and they still always score on you no matter what you try.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter if you know what's coming when Dignitas are trying to play so consistently. I don't think I saw a double commit all 5 minutes of that match. I don't think I saw any mispositioning from Dignitas either. The one time that they did get scored on was some good interference by Savage running ahead of the ball, getting a block play on the challenge at the near post that Turbo Pulsar was trying to make. It looks like Alpha's in deep thought there, trying to come up with a solution. It's going to be tough to come up with one in the short time that they've got. It is, like we said, a best of 7, but they're against 2 former world champions, and Yukio's never looked better in a Dignitas jersey.
I really want to speak to you right now about the changes that we've seen from Dignitas ever since they brought in Yukio after K-Dop did leave. And for me, for the longest time, it seemed like they were still trying to play with Yukio as if K-Dop was there. And it just was never going to work for them. So for you, what are we now seeing differently? How have they adapted to this new player?
Well, Yukio is such a fast player, particularly in the aerial battle aspect of the game. So Dignitas probably want to challenge more in that regard, and maybe less on the ground, because K-Dop's a very ground-focused player. And if they're going to try and facilitate to Yukio's strengths, it's the same thing. Get the ball up high. We don't want these low passes, because so far this tournament, Yukio's actually been struggling to hit the target from low angles, but in the air, he's been the king.
Game 2 coming up now. The Death said that the first 2 games were going to be crucial and that Savage needed to make an impression. By that logic, Savage must win this one.
Yeah, I can't disagree there. Savage, they fought back well earlier. When they lost the game to G2, they responded with a win. They really need one here. Turbo Pulsar looking comfortable with a read behind himself as the ball's hitting his own backboard. Back pass for Turbo towards Violent Panda. You know, Savage have been utilizing the back pass quite well this tournament, but they didn't have any space to do it. They were stuck in their own half last game, so I don't think the thought of back pass even crossed their mind.
Violent Panda over in the corner. He's just taking his time, realizing that there wasn't really going to be any need to try and challenge that one. To the side of Bluey. Tries to bound the ball off the backboard. Panda's touch is still loose. Followed up by Alpha. Gets for the double tap. Still dangerous. Gonna drop down dangerously as well. Yukio unable to clear. Here comes Devo off the crossbar. So many balls hit. None of them on target. All near the crossbar or off the backboard.
That's just criminal by Savage. They have to test the Dignitas goalies there. Can't be missing every single shot in that rotation. I mean, as long as the last one goes in, you're allowed to hit the bar with every shot prior, but something has to go on target in that exchange.
So far, Savage have utilized their own play style much better here in game 2. Had much more of the possession, and now it's going to be dangerous. Finally testing the defense. Bluey is already up, and he wins. Puts it underneath the defender. 1-0 to Savage.
And Devo taking a chance from a tight angle, which I actually like an awful lot, because you expect Dignitas to save that ball, but it's hard to get a clear while doing so, or at least a good one. And there the double commit does happen more often because you're on your own goal line. It's hard to have trust in your teammate or call something out early when you're both that far back. 1-0 Savage. And can they hold on to this lead?
Bluey. Want to get it past Turbo, and Turbo's flick. Allows Bluey to keep himself going. Alpha to make this dangerous. Savage have pinned Dignitas back for the first 2 minutes of this game, and we are only continuing it as we start to head towards the second half of this matchup. Dignitas unable to get a foothold in this match yet.
So right now I think Savage are keeping a keen eye on any Dignitas counter-attack attempts, especially with passes involved. It just takes one touch and then another in the midfield and the ball could be in the Savage net. They know that just as well as we do. They're making sure not to overcommit with their third man. Gets saved by Yukio. This time he does get it in a relatively safe location, but his whole team's followed him into the corner. Dignitas need to try and spread out a little bit more if they want to get rid of Savage and the pressure that's amounting because of their aggression and consistency.
Good clear from Violent Panda. He's just been so good at those throughout the entirety of this weekend. It's going to be even more important in a series against Savage, who likes to play so far forwards. Can't get it over the top of the line. It means everyone on Savage is going to have to rotate all the way back. It means you can get some reverse pressure on. Now Devo infield to Bluey off the backboard. Turbo is already committed. And now it's going to be more of that Savage pressure. Drops down again. We've seen this position before. Dignitas double commit. They've got it away, but only momentarily. Bluey with the background. And Turbo managed to just swipe across the goal.
It's still Savage though coming forward. Alpha using the ceiling to get this ball into the middle. What a save by Panda. Devo must have thought he'd got the second goal there. Dignitas are hanging on. You never know. At any moment they could strike on the counter. They're still keeping a good amount of boost on at least a couple of their members at all times.
This is the player that you would expect to facilitate it. Violent Panda already around off the backboard. Yukio can now set himself up, but Devo with a crucial touch takes it away from the oncoming Austrian. And that is a fantastic block by Bluey. Opportunity. Alpha calls him off. Going to be dropping down, and Devo comes in. Violent Panda was incredibly brave to leave that one for as long as he did.
You know, Yukio is going to be looking to be the first Austrian player to win a Rocket League major. Everyone else in this field has come from a winning country in the past. 45 seconds left. Dignitas starting to move a little bit further up the field. They know that time is no longer on their side. Looks like Savage going to try and control the ball, let the clock win the game for them. Is 1-0 going to be enough?
Savage have dominated this game so far when it comes to possession. They haven't really been able to create too much. Hasn't mattered though, because Dignitas have had absolutely nothing in the other side of the field. How quickly can they change that? Violent Panda tries to push it straight through, but Bluey is nice and big and he's got it in front of it. Last opportunity for Dick.
Devo gets it out of defense and will put it in for the second goal. And you know, you can forgive Dignitas a little bit for moving up on this. It was a tough shot by Devo to intercept. That will almost certainly confirm that Savage are absolutely here to play in the semifinals.
The desk mentioned it coming into this game. They have to try and make an impression in games 1 and 2. That impression has been made.
Yeah, they've done so here. Dignitas suffered in the same fate as Cloud9 did. yesterday in the competition. They tried to sit back and wait for the Savage rotation to fail, wait for there to be a gap for them to exploit. In this game, it just never happened. Savage managed to play a perfect 5 minutes, almost no chances for Dignitas. That misplay set up Bluey to get the ball underneath Turbopulsa, who has no boost and pre-jumping in front of it.
You talked just a moment ago about how Yukio is trying to be the first ever Austrian to make a LAN final. On the other side, we've got Bluey, we've got Devo, looking to try and make it 3 straight international LAN wins for the United Kingdom. They'd be winners number 4 and 5 in the last 3.
At least we're good at something.
Yeah, apparently so. It's a short list, but we can play Rocket League apparently.
Well, you're drinking tea as well. We've got that pretty locked in.
I don't know. Ever since I've been to the US a few times, that iced tea.
You're an iced tea fan.
It's not bad, man. It's not bad.
Maybe I'll need to give it a second chance. Dignitas. I've got a second chance here after failing to show off their new look roster with Yukio at the WSOE tournament just recently. Savage are proving to be a much tougher opposition than everyone expected at the start of this tournament. Alpha gets the first goal in game 3, and it only took 7 seconds.
And here's the danger when you play against Savage. They are a snowball team, and once they get a little bit of momentum, they start to get going, and they might start to turn into a juggernaut in this series. Dignitas have got to start shutting this down. They've got to get pressure on the other side.
It's all Savage at the moment. How are Dignitas going to answer? We talked about how Savage could try and come back in game 1 when Dignitas were well in front. We thought maybe demos would be a way to do that. Well, that's worked against Savage in the past for various teams. It's trying to disrupt the Savage rotation themselves. I mean, the Savage aren't going to make a mistake. Let's find a gap for them. Taking people out. That's a reset on the ceiling by Alpha and a clear forward, but will be swept away by Dignitas, who have 2v1 for the time being, with Devo has wasted enough time for his teammates to come back and help him.
Turbopulsa. Smart play from him, going to go all the way back and pick up his own boost. Rather that than just passing it straight over to a rushing Devo, or Bluey actually just behind him. This is Devo now on the ball. Bluey wins the challenge off the backboard. Turbo against Alpha in the air, and Turbo comes out better. But we are still in the same as we saw in game 2. Savage have got all of the momentum on their side.
Yeah, after a slow start, Savage have stepped up the pace, and they're starting to play their game.
Oh, this is scary when you see Devo doing stuff like that.
Devo with the silly shot pass attempt. Wait a minute though, that's an empty net, and Violet Panda floor pitches it over the line. Dignitas tie things up.
I'm very curious to see if we can see how big that demo on Alpha was. It was massive. He was the first defender. He would have been the one that would have been trying to get to it. And instead, he was annihilated.
What a play off the ball. Demo's coming in clutch for Dig. That was what they needed. We talked about it earlier. If there's no gap in the rotation from Savage misplays, well, we'll have to go and make one ourselves. Dignitas execute what they couldn't do last game, and now they've got another open net. Turbopulsa just lets it go by him. Yukio gets the credit.
And Turbo looks very happy with that one. Great touch to take it past the charging defender, and Yukio open net. I think Turbo was happy that he just didn't hit it.
Yeah, you can see Turbo there. Not about the steal, but he's just playing it safe. There's a lot of respect for Savage here. They don't want to try and make a goal steal when he might end up saving the shot.
Well, it must be a good thing that K-Dop's not on this team anymore, because as we saw yesterday, he'll take those from you.
Oh, he would have tried. Bar down, Alpha into Bluey, and Savage respond in kind.
This is starting to look like one of those games. Turbopulsa couldn't make contact, utilizing the backboard yet again. Savage finding a lot of success with the bread and butter of Rocket League.
Yeah, they're just playing heads up. Straight up Rocket League. Nothing fancy. Just brute force mechanics. It's already been 4 goals. It's been a pretty low scoring series before this. Game 2 especially. At least one team struggled to score in both the games before now, but that's all changed.
Over the top, Turbo couldn't scoop it. And Bluey again on the scoreboard.
Wow, Bluey had almost no boost left, but he barely had enough to get there first, and Turbopulsa couldn't get on the right side of the ball. He must have expected the challenge to be more effective in front of him.
We're getting goals in spurts at the moment. We had 2 straight from Dignitas in no time at all. We've had 2 straight after that from Savage in no time at all. Here's a goal frenzy over here in game 3. Bluey, that's actually so smart. Plays it all the way back. He's just got to try and keep Turbo off. But none of his teammates are available to try and help him out. Over to the side. It's going to be Turbo's to play. Tries to find Panda, but that is directly towards, I believe it was Alpha in that situation.
Yeah, I think so. This is great news for Savage. We always knew that Dignitas had it in them to score multiple goals from behind and really close large gaps. Savage looking like they can do that as well. And that was one of the questions that we were still wondering if Savage would be able to answer. Well, don't worry, all you Savage fans. It looks like they are playing at their best at the right time as well.
Oh, that's a pre-jump from Bluey. Alpha would have preferred to just try and get it down to him. Still, 3-2 to Savage as we head towards the final few minutes of game number 3. There's a miss from Alpha. Yukio trying to keep this going. It's a pre-jump from Violent Panther, and he was just a hair length away from putting a shot towards an awaiting Bluey. But now it's Dignitas' attempt to keep the pressure going, and it's going to be so interesting to see where they position and how they try and box in Savage.
There's a couple of demos here. Alpha 54 has just been spawn killed. He will spawn again right between the ball and his goal. He's made himself useful, despite the fact that he's completely starved for boost. It's over a minute for Dig to try and make this comeback possible. That might be rolling on target. It's just going wide with Turbo. Watching over it. This is getting a bit chaotic now. Dignitas have accepted the challenge, which Savage have posed to them. Are you fast enough? Well, Dignitas think they are.
We start off with a couple of jabs. Now we're in round 3, and we're just going to throw some haymakers already. Over to Devo. Backboard double tap. Almost there. Follow from Bluey. Off the backboard. There'll be no more from Savage. It was worth the attempt, but it's not worth the triple commit.
Devo's so close to nailing his speciality shot from back in Season 2. Luckily, they're already a goal in front. They've got to look out for these Dignitas counter-attacks. Violent Panda knocks on a clear from Turbo. Still, Dignitas in the hunt for the comeback.
Panda with a fantastic carry across the field. And Turbo does bump. That's going to leave Yukio with a chance to move forward. Far side, Panda all the way back for booster. He will not be available for the pass. Only just a few seconds remaining here, Johnny.
Clutch by Devo again. He's made an awkward touch that Dignitas don't really know what to do with. Into the final 5.
Gonna be dropping down. Here's Panda on the hood. They've got to keep this up in the air. Turbo goes long. That's just gonna drop down though. 2-1, Savage.
They're on the warpath right now. Another win for the underdogs. Brand new RLCS team for Season 7 against the RLCS team from previous seasons, especially in Europe. The domination that Turbo Pulsar and Violent Panda have been able to exert over their region is being put into question right now.
Such a great game of Rocket League we just witnessed. I mean, we saw both teams playing to their own strengths throughout that game. And it was just Savage that came out the better. Take a look at this. Off the backboard. And just as easy as you like, Savage. You know, we talked about the mechanics throughout this, but it's the basic plays that we're seeing from them that are having the biggest effect.
They're just playing their game. They're playing so fast. And although Dignitas tried that match to disrupt the rotation with a whole host of demolish plays, it didn't affect Savage too much. They're keeping their cool. Got to say, I'm very impressed by their on-stage presence here. Now, I'm going to ask Dignitas, are they going to be able to rise to the occasion? Very impressed as well by Savage backward play. We talked about it a few times. The speed that they're smashing the ball off the crossbar is really making a difference here, because Dignitas have to react so much faster than if those balls go floating in. And also it gives the attackers are following up the advantage, because the ball's coming at them. Defenders are playing catch up.
A victory here for Savage would put them not only on series point, but one game away from the grand finals in the most stacked Rocket League tournament of all time. Bluey blocked by Yukio. game is going to be huge for Dignitas. Turbo be waiting all the way back as Devo didn't react as quickly as I think many on the field thought he would. This actually ends up being a good thing because Savage trying to utilize their pressure. That was a boomer of a shot to the top corner. Well saved.
Absolute thunder from Bluey, and Devo follows up with a shot of his own, which has left Dignitas stranded. Well, right now, the uprights and the crossbar are doing Dignitas a real favor. Savage are relentless. Yukio able to get this one clear.
This opening minute might be indicative of the entire game. We've seen Savage in this move before. They've got 2 games to their name, and that momentum is rolling for them. Louis to the backboard. Turbo's going to be targeted with getting up there in time. Alpha to put it down again. And this is going to be the only little bit of breathing room that Dignitas had, and simply just wasn't enough boost on Turbo to get anything from it. That bounce is not going to suit Bluey, but Devo already around. What a save from Turbo.
Dignitas are being forced to make so many saves on their goal line. Right now, they have just had enough to keep this one level at 0-0. You know, Savage have been so willing to dribble the ball back into their own half just in the name of keeping control, and I've got to say, I'm very impressed by that as well. There's been teams who have fallen prey to that, turning around too early in the midfield and getting dunked on. Savage are not one of them.
Still 0-0. 2 minutes down, shot on target. Bluey does a good job to not only save it, but maybe set up his teammate. But Alpha, I just don't think he was in position to try and move on to Bluey's pass. And Bluey, with maybe 20 more boosts, would have been turning that one in.
Well, certainly hitting the target would have been likely for Bluey in that position. Never one to miss a redirect. I like to say, boost was an issue. And Savage have been less successful this game with boxing in Dignitas like they were able to do in the last 2. But still, they look comfortable. This is great news for the underdogs here. Going toe-to-toe with Dignitas and looking good while doing it, but this is Violent Panda with an open net. He's missed it. In comes Turbo to put it in the top corner. 1-0 Dig.
Turbo does not miss those. Yukio, the monstrous flick. Violent Panda just keeps it around in the danger. And Turbo, I don't think it needed to be that well placed, but hey, it certainly does not help. Well, it certainly does not hurt, it certainly helps.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that. But yeah, it does help a lot. Violent Panda, dribbling play, gets shut down by Alpha. You know, Alpha's really a fantastic solo duelist as well, as was Devo back in the day. Look at this from Savage, trying to utilize the backboard once again, getting one of their players up there. Devo looking for a bump as he comes off the back wall himself. Savage have got the ball completely on the goal line, but that's a miss from point-blank range. Surely that was the opportunity. It's still there. How long has the ball been on the goal line and no goal comes in for Savage? One more chance and barely gets saved by Yukio.
Off the backboard one more time. Panda and Yukio already up. They've got to try and prioritize getting these boosts, and Yukio has done exactly that. Savage with the box in. And Turbo, it looks after he's managed to beat Alpha to that ball, has finally got his team out, but is it only momentary? Bluey engaging Violent Panda in a clear contest. You are simply not going to win that.
And then chasing after Yukio, who did escape the wrath of Bluey. Savage got 1 minute and 10 seconds to try and replicate what they just did, but then score after doing it. The ball is magnetized to the Dignitas box, it seems. Devo fires it right back in. Is it going straight down? You bet it is, but Turbo gets in the way of it. What a save by Turbo. I feel like I've been saying that a lot this game.
He has stepped up in game 4. When his team needed it most, this is when you show that you are the 3-time world champion. The most successful Rocket League player in history. Off the backboard. Savage have got to find a goal. Bluey tried to follow, but he couldn't quite reach it in time. 30 seconds left on the clock for them.
Alpha decides to let this one go. Violent Panda was up quick. Yukio follows it on. He's looking for the double touch. He'll put it wide. 20 seconds now for Savage. Still in the hunt for 1 goal.
Devo waits the longest time for Turbo to commit to the challenge, and Turbo, well, he did not lose that game of chicken. 10 seconds. Alpha to Devo. Devo doesn't get anywhere with that. It was always going to be a difficult angle to shoot from. And Dignitas moving towards the other side of the field.
Turbo keeps it low, but Alpha will get 1 more chance. It's gone into the air above Devo. Yukio gets a crucial touch, and that will be Dignitas equalizing the series once again. We are going to go into Game 5, all tied up. A best of 7 has become a best of 3.
This next match is going to be the rubber match between them. And from what we've seen so far, it feels like one of those series that is building up to a heck of a crescendo.
I mean, at this point, everybody's just thinking, can it please go all the way? Could we not see a Game 7? All the way, let's go in. I would not be surprised. Savage, they'll feel like they should have taken this one. They'll feel like they absolutely could have taken it. Turbo Pulse are clutching it for Dig. Getting it slamming into the top corner when they needed someone to step up. The 3-time will get the job done.
And Turbo, he has a history of stepping up in those big matches. Hat-trick hero back in the Season 5 Grand Finals, Game 7. He's the one that not only scored the own goal, technically 4 goals in that game actually, but he was able to score 3 more after that one. You gotta feel like if this did go to Game 7, Dignitas would be the favorites with all of that wealth of experience to draw from. But Savage, as many European teams would tell you, are the great unknown, and we're finding so much about them this weekend.
We're just relearning almost just how good players like Devo can be. Of course, himself and Turbo go way back. They won a World Championship together in Season 3. A World Championship where Devo decided to just take control as the series is progressing. Will he do the same today? Wonder who it's going to be that's going to step up and be the main man for either Savage or for Dignitas.
Alpha, another good flick from him. Saw it yesterday as well, that when Alpha gets time on the board and he brings it down, he can do oh so much damage to the opposing defense. He was so successful with it that we saw Bluey and Devo starting to adapt the same strategy. That's going to be a shot on target. Bluey lofts it up high. Dignitas can follow. Violent Panda already to the air. It's going to be 2 players whiffing. Bluey gets it about as far as Turbo Pulsar.
It's a great save by Bluey there to arc the ball almost vertically without hitting the ceiling. It's just to keep the follow-up shot away for as long as possible. Looks like Dignitas are going to do what they did in Game 1. Just keep Savage in their own half, and this is not where Savage are technically the best when you compare it to how good their offense is.
Could be a demo to take Panda out, so it's going to be even more crucial that Turbo did win the challenge in the air. Now Alpha passes it, looking for Devo, but Violent Panda already cut an option out. Looks for a double. 2 players committed. Yukio across, Turbo Pulsar, too close to that one. An opportunity may have gone amiss there. It was a half chance for Dignitas. If they could have set it up better, that could have been 1-0.
Yeah, Yukio has to do better there. Alpha's started an air dribble out of his own soft clear. Completely surprising Dignitas in the process. Yeah, you're not wrong. Yukio had to do more there. Dignitas have had a lot of pressure, but not many real shooting opportunities out of it. And Yukio does seem to be struggling to find his footing in Game 5 with another aerial whiff.
Panda to the wall. Try and follow it up and go down the line. Should be Alpha to try and take over, but it's going to be Panda keeping the pressure on. Savage needs to respect that a little bit. The boost management from Violent Panda means he can just keep going on and on for days. Here's Bluey across field, nobody there.
As Panda lands, he gets demolished by Bluey. In comes Devo, another double touch wide. Alpha was also up for this one, so Bluey's had to delay his own approach forward. And oh my goodness, Alpha's way underneath this one. Yukio getting more power than he was anticipating.
See the nerves creeping in now in Game 5. This is the moment where your mentality becomes almost as important as your gameplay. Turbo, well won by the challenge, but it's only over to Alpha. Alpha puts it too fast to the side. It's going to be very hard to follow this up, but Savage are doing exactly that. But once you start adding a bit of width to the play, you just start swinging across more and more. It becomes harder for the third man to move forward and take a shot.
Yeah, we said that we're looking to see who's going to step up because so many potential carries on the field right now, but at the same time, this high-pressure situation just takes one mistake to completely blow the series wide open. This game is getting away with it from us. It's only 90 seconds left. It feels like it's gone by very quickly. Yukio opting to go for the near post wall. He does get it into the middle. He's grazed the crossbar while doing so.
If anyone was Dignitas was able to read that, they would have been 1 goal up. But you are right, Johnny. This one is this game is evaporating before us, and now that next goal becomes even bigger. Panda forced to try and clear. I mean, another booming shot across the field. Now Yukio puts it down. Would have wanted to try and keep that up, but that's another whip. Alpha's trying to get back, and he's just about helped out his teammate clean up. But now Dignitas looking to move forward.
It's clutch from Alpha 54, but the danger is not yet over for Savage. Triple commit for the same save, but Devo's taking it under control. Has hit Alpha, got back into the middle. But it seems like Alpha is just everywhere. Dignitas can't find a way past him.
Everyone from Savage getting so scrappy for the last few seconds. Everyone except for Alpha keeping the head on his shoulders.
30 seconds left.
Gonna be Alpha, maybe making use of the demo. It's open net! Bluey scores!
Just like that, a demo breaks the rotation of Dignitas clean in half. And Alpha 54 gets the ball into the middle. Bluey with the easiest goal he's gonna have all weekend. Dignitas have got 25 seconds to find an answer.
And now we go from the tension and the slow pace that we had before to pure chaos, because Dignitas need to throw everything at Savage.
Bluey gonna work her way down the line. Not much boost on Yukio, but he's just backflipped onto a respawning 100 pad now. Dignitas, 10 seconds to come back.
Drops down, Bluey staying in the way. Violent Panda has got it over, and Bluey and Alpha have got it each other's way. But Turbo Pulsar couldn't get past Devo, though, who was constantly bumping it. They've got to keep this ball up in the air.
Needs to be a 0-second play for Dignitas. Turbo Pulsar gets it on target, but it's gonna hit the floor. Savage confirm the Game 5 win.
One more game before Bluey gets his opportunity to defend his DreamHack championship. And for Dignitas, there's been so many questions for them ever since this roster move was made. Is it the right decision? Was it the correct move? This is their huge opportunity to try and prove it wrong, but right now, they are facing a monumental challenge. Beat Savage 2 times in a row.
That was just such a huge play by Devo to jumping demo Turbo Pulsar out of the corner of the net. You know, we saw Violent Panda talking to Yukio there between Game 5 and 6. I do wonder what's being said. Is it words of encouragement? Is it strategical? Because at this point, I think Yukio, as the newest player on the team, he needs those words of encouragement from Panda and Turbo, the players with such experience.
And what was scary for me right there is that Bluey looks to be enjoying himself. My major worry coming into this one is that maybe the situation, maybe the stage would get to Savage. But if Bluey and the rest of his team start to just play us like it's another day in the office, that is when things get really dangerous for Dignitas.
Alpha just glancing blows the first shot wide. We've seen a couple of immediate goals this series. This time we will go into at least 15 seconds without one. Bluey with a massive hit on there.
I want a clear competition between Garrett, Bluey, and Violent Panda. Just see who can get the most distance.
On those half volley well clears, yeah. It's been a couple of absolute scorchers today. Yukio, 1v1. He gets it into the top corner. Bluey is taken out of the game by Violent Panda simultaneously.
And I absolutely love the timing here from Yukio. He waited until it bounced. He waited until Alpha was more square to him, meaning it was going to be so much harder to cover the far side of the net.
And that's
well placed.
Perfect player for Dignitas to score right now. Yukio, who looked like he was struggling to find his stride in the last game, on the score sheet. The first 30 seconds of game number 6.
Panda almost able to get it on his hood as he dropped down. That would have been outrageous gameplay from him. Double demo. Yukio and Panda both taken out, so Turbo is kept in charge of the rotation in field, but it's going to be on the Turbo! That is the Dignitas that we know and love.
The no-look shot from Turbo to double up for Dig. Violent Panda, the vision to pass there. Certainly not something you'd expect from most players.
And the pass has got to be so powerful as well, because if that comes towards him light, Turbo can't get any power really from that direction. He's already facing away from the own net. He's got offensively use the power from the pass to try and turn it in. This is a great start by Dignitas.
Bluey did land the flip reset, but he's just going to wave dash. Didn't have any effective angle. Violent Panda, the recipient of a infield pass this time. It's usually the player making those passes for Dig.
Turbo to Yukio. It's going to be still available for Turbo to take over. Devo just about able to get himself in the way. So far this series, we've seen Savage able to try and lock down Dignitas, but you got to remember, back in game one, Dignitas were very much in control. And this game is starting to look very reminiscent of game one. Dignitas taking their time, and Savage being forced to press the envelope.
Luckily, Savage seemed to have stopped the freight train that was Dignitas in the first few minutes here, but is it going to stay that way as Dignitas are still in offense, creating chances? Turbo Pulse has gone over the top of that one. I believe he's going to dive bomb it just to waste some time. Almost half the game to go. Violent Panda flip reset attempt as well. A lot of these being attempted, but yet to be too successful.
Savage just trying to put something together, but everything being blocked. Yukio didn't quite sort out his rotation. But Alpha now will take over. Panda forced to save. And that is another booming clear. Devo would like to have kept the pressure up, but instead, he was only tasked with making sure that the ball didn't enter his side of the field. Infield pass. Violent Panda with a shot, but it will not trouble the goal.
He's got ahead of the ball there just to dodge and use the back end of his card to make the shot. Enabling him to hit more angles from that position. It's really smart by Violent Panda. He does sacrifice a bit of power when he does that.
Savage's opportunity. They've got less than 2 minutes remaining. There's going to be Bluey as an option. He's pre-jumped!
Oh! My goodness, Bluey! With the pre-jump, and Devo finds him mid-air. What? That is not a half-bad shot for a pre-jump connection.
None of you at home could see it, but my face is just in pure shock.
Shogun has just had the same facial expression for this entire play on the replay.
That was a miraculous goal from Savage. And then we might see one even better than that. Yukio for the flip reset.
Just far enough away for Savage to react. A goal in it. Savage still a match point. And Dignitas must be shaking after that play that we just saw. Will Savage be able to do anything similar? Actually going to be terrible with a bit of free time down the line, but he's gone ahead of the ball. Oh my goodness, it's almost gone into the middle though. Violent Panda lofting it high to Alpha 54.
Alpha would like to block this, but instead, it's going to be giving Bluey, and Bluey's got some time. Unfortunately, he already used his jump. Couldn't get there in time to try and use that second one to turn it into the net.
It's a good read by Yukio. He knew that Bluey was probably trying to fake that one. We've seen Bluey do that a few times this tournament. Another good touch in defense by Bluey. His saves have been on point all weekend. Alpha in a really awkward spot. He's had to take off backwards for this one, and he does miss. And that opens the door for Yukio.
You can't really blame Alpha for his positioning. They needed to get forward. They needed their chance to shoot. Unfortunately, caught by a challenge that just pinched off in a way that he didn't expect. Dignitas have got that comfort back again.
Yeah, it was a nightmare bounce for Savage. Well played to Yukio, just ignoring Alpha in front of him. It's easy to kind of fake yourself out of that play when you see a defender going up for it, but he's trusted. A good portion of the time here, Alpha could be missing as it's such an awkward takeoff. And then just arrived at the perfect time.
Devo tries to get rid of it. 30 seconds, Savage. Need to score something, and you need to score it quickly. Over to Devo. Devo won't be able to get to that one.
So that's 20 seconds left now for Savage. It's now or never. Violent Panda shuts down Bluey easily. Devo will get a lot of power on his hit, but again, Dignitas standing in the way of it. And that's almost a target. Yes, it is. Yukio with the hat trick. And another play off the ceiling to almost surely secure game number 6 and send us into the ace match.
You said when Yukio scored his first goal that you were happy to see that he got it. You can maybe calm his nerves a little. What does a hat trick got to feel when your team needs it? But now the question becomes, can you do it when it's at its most important? Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a game 7.
Well, if Savage are going to earn their rite of passage to the grand final, if Bluey's going to have a chance to defend his title, what better way to do it than a Game 7 against Team Dignitas? Yukio is going to try and shake that one off. He's probably feeling pretty good right now. A lot better than after Game 5, I'm sure. Wow, I'm really looking forward to this one. I mean, both teams have played well in this series. I'm sure that they're going to be tough to beat, regardless of who makes it into the final. That might be play of the day. It's either this or the K-Dop pre-jump on Fairy Peak's pass in the series we saw before this one.
And the problem is, if you're a defender, yes, the shot might come in, but you'd almost imagine a reality as well, where Bluey would try and find the 1-2 mid-air. It sounds ridiculous, but it's Savage. Why wouldn't they at least try?
Yeah, it's exactly the kind of thing that they like to do. Just find the silliest way to score a goal and then somehow make it happen. It's calm faces on either side of the stage. This is the biggest test, though, for Savage. Dignitas have been here many times before. Turbo Pulse and Violent Panda have been here many, many times before. Savage are in new territory now. They didn't expect to make it this far. They said they didn't even expect to make it to day 3, really. They were hoping. Well, here they are now in Game 7 of the semifinals.
This match is worth a further $10,000. Winner of it gets $20K to share between them. We are not talking chump change here, ladies and gentlemen.
And also a crack at 50 in the grand final.
Gonna be Alpha. Doesn't have Bluey in support. Devo forced to save. That's the sort of shot that invites Dignitas to try and move forward, and it's so crucial that Bluey played that as well as he did.
That's a great touch again by the Savage goalkeeper. Putting it in an awkward position for Dignitas to follow up. Dig are looking deadly right now. Panda on the hunt. Bluey hiding inside the near post just to make it almost impossible for Panda to connect with him at supersonic speed.
Now down, Turbo Pulsar. Plays down the line. Got 2 players around there, and Violent Panda didn't want to charge in. Understands that Bluey is a very good transition player, but that's Violent Panda's, and he is shut down within the last moment.
Alpha facing the play, able to shut down the incoming shot. So far, Savage have been positioned well in defense, and to get a shot to attack themselves. Bluey's completely out of boost on the back wall. Third man here for Savage has to play perfectly.
Yukio to Turbo. Turbo keeps it dangerous. Devo just gets some slight contact, and now we go to the other side. Bluey, he can double tap! Go for Bluey! 1-0 Savage!
What a play by Bluey! Starts this double touch on the halfway line, but no one in the venue has a shadow of a doubt that he's going to score. He is just an absolute beast in the air.
The mechanical maestro has come to play. And now we've got Alpha in the air. Gets it past Yukio, means he cannot continue to follow. Dignitas have now got to find a goal, but first they've got to find a way out their own side of the field.
Devo shutting down a couple of clears, but there is a pass in defense from Dig. And a thumping shot to follow. This is something Dignitas have had in their back pocket to follow up on. Hard clear contact, but that's a miss from Turbo. Chance goes astray for Team Savage.
And that was such a huge opportunity for 2-0. Might come back to bite them. Opportunities like that are going to be few and far between in this series. Now Bluey gets it over the top of Panda. And now it's going to be Bluey chasing down Yukio, who has to just get it over the top, but it's still not gone just yet. Savage having the better of the offense so far, and Panda's touch is not going to help out.
Yeah, that pitch step by Panda just going the complete wrong direction. Dignitas captain needs to play his best. They've done this before against the best in the world. They have to do it again. The Savage are playing like one of the best teams in the world right now. Taking this all the way down to the wire. Devo no boost, but still forcing a play from Yukio.
Now Bluey with Alpha over in support. Almost got it to bounce, but Turbo Pulsar was not fooled. Devo to take control. Here's Violent Panda with Yukio. Yukio puts it up high, and Turbo might turn around for this one. It's going to be open, it's going to be available, and it's going to be a goal.
And Turbo just had so much time here to calculate his options. He placed it just out of reach of the Savage defenders who were retreating back to net. And you just knew It wasn't going to be easy for Savage. It never is against Dig. The equalizers come just inside the final 2 minutes.
My heart is in my mouth now, Johnny.
That's not healthy too.
Devo. Over to Alpha. Alpha cuts her in! Alpha is announcing himself to the world!
On his LAN debut, Alpha 54 absolutely slams this one into the corner. Precision, power, everything was there for Savage. Now, they get a second chance to hold on to a 1-goal lead.
Panda putting up high early, follows it up, and that lead did not last long.
Well, maybe third time lucky for Savage. Violent Panda's not going to give him any chance with this one. The first touch there was just ideal for Violent Panda. It's come right down into the sweet spot in front of the net. And he wasn't slow to arrive. He's accidentally sent to this one for Alpha, who is going to stay up for it. Devo has the follow-up. That could have been a goal for all 3 members of Savage. Minute and 20 left on the clock.
Devo trying to play out, but only as far as Violent Panda. Everyone from Dignitas already back on the halfway line. Yukio is going to be forced to leave it. Pretty direct ball though, so Alpha can try and take it over.
Alpha gets shut down by Turbo. Yukio gets the ball over the top of one. He's running to Bluey, but it's coming straight down in front of the net. Clear by Alpha 54.
Now Devo forced to try and get it out. He needs to try and get a second touch here. Him and Alpha are both forward. That would have left Bluey in such a hard spot to keep going. But now we're down to the other end of the field. Devo can almost get it over the top of 2 of them. Yukio, though, crucially, keeps it away.
Well, now Bluey's going to try and get the ball into the center, but Turbo Pulse is waiting. Where are the demo plays that we've been seeing all series long?
Alpha, only as far as Violent Panda again. Panda's getting more aggressive with his positioning, and he might have just set a Turbo! But instead, it is again Alpha proving to be the difference maker.
25 seconds. Ball into the crossbar for Dignitas. Bluey's up. It's actually gone into a back pass position. That's wild from Violent Panda.
Alpha with control. We've seen his dribbles do so much damage in the last few days. Has he got another one in him? Bluey booming clear across field. It's going to be forced to be saved. It's going to be dangerous. Devo sets it off the backboard. Turbo over to Yukio. One final opportunity. I think Bluey would rather see overtime.
They will accept the overtime challenge. Game 7 of the semi-final will be decided in OT.
One more game? Nah, one more goal. Violent Panda to the other side of the field. Devo tries to get set for his opportunity. Here comes Alpha, but he's on the wrong side of the ball.
If Alpha had just been wide there, maybe he would have had a chance. Now Bluey has to be careful. Devo's going to clear Turbo's shot for him. It's now Dignitas has an opportunity, but Alpha with a huge hit to get the ball clear.
Yukio and Violent Panda push their third man even further forward. Off the backboard, Turbo is gone, and Panda covers.
Panda needed to hit the ball there, and he made good of that touch. I wonder where the demo is going to come in. There it was. It's Devo with another exquisite touch on the back wall, and he does get a second one to keep Savage safe for the time being.
Turbo only over to Devo yet again. Violent Panda infield, and Turbo is gone.
More clutch demos for Savage. Setting up the ceiling shot for Bluey. Crossbar with the save.
Still pressure on for Savage. The rotation is a little bit wild. Violent Panda has got Turbo around. Turbo back to Panda. Panda to win it, and Devo's in the way.
Devo with another huge play in defense. Yukio's gonna let this one go. Back pass towards Turbo. Shut down by Alpha 54.
Still waiting for that one opportunity. Devo! Oh, it's just about kept out. Huge opportunities here for Savage. Over the top, Turbo to Yukio. They're gonna try and break.
Yukio tries to find Panda in the middle. It's back to Yukio for the win! Dignitas are into the grand final.
What a series!
Wow! What a series by Savage as well. Bringing Dignitas all the way down to the wire, but it's Yukio who puts in the final goal. What a way to answer the haters.
Game 6 and Game 7 It's the new boy that really stepped up for the first time ever. We have got an Austrian in the grand finals, and I'm 100% certain he is not willing to settle for that. Dignitas are tested, and they come through.
And no doubt we've got a pretty scared NRG and Vitality on the other side of the bracket after seeing how well Savage have played all weekend, and now seeing Dignitas step up, match them blow for blow, and clutch it in the grand final, or in the semi-final rather, final seconds. Unbelievable.
Absolutely unbelievable. Dude, I'm gonna need some time to get my words for me, so please, Dreadnought, take it away.
Who other than the new man on the roster to close out that very, very tense series, making it all the way to OT in game number 7. Yukio clutching it out here. Guys, thoughts on the entirety there of that series?
I'm just going to say me and Chiefs were geniuses because we said best of 5 is great for Savage, best of 7 great for Dignitas. After 5, Savage has the lead. Dignitas battles back and gets the win that we expected, but not like this. Savage played out of their mind.
Yeah, Savage returned. They did not play that defensive style that they were playing versus G2. They weren't under pressure. Well, okay, I'll take that back. They were definitely under pressure, but it was what I expected out of Savage at the start of the day. It was what I wanted to see, and it was
this
that
goal. The Bluey pre-jump goal was insane. My only problem with it was he pre-jumped like 2 or 3 more times later in the series, and it kind of didn't work out, and then they would have to play defense on the back foot, and eventually it cost them with Dignitas with the give-and-go play. Yukio to Violent Panda, back to Yukio to win it all.
And up here at the desk, it is none other than Turbo Pulsa going to be joining us up here, man. And I've got to ask, what was some of the thoughts that are going in that series? Because we were saying Game 7, that's all Dignitas. And then, you know, very early on, Savage was looking pretty hot.
Yeah, we haven't really played against them very much, so we didn't really know what to expect from them. So this series was really like surprising for us. All I can say is I hate Champions Field.
All right, so there's been 17 events for Rocket League in LANs at least, and you've been in 10 of those grand finals. Your teammate Yukio, it'll be his very first one. What do you say to him before the grand finals?
I mean, don't be nervous. Like, this is just a regular game. Even if it's finals or it's like league playing OCS or whatever. The end goal is to win, and if you don't win, then you lose.
Easy as that.
So then, of course, looking ahead, one more. Aside from getting Yukio ready, I mean, which team would you rather have?
I want to play Vitality, just because of K-Top. It's
That's
like
fair.
It's a friendly
That's
rivalry.
fair.
We all love him. I still love him. It'll be a fun game no matter who we play against.
Good, good, good.
Well, we are going to go to a commercial break, and congratulations once more there, Turbo Pulsa. But quickly, a shout out to our sponsors between Psyonix, DreamHack, Monster, and esportmanagement.com. We're going to go to a break, and when we come back, we figure out if Dignitas has the opportunity to get revenge there over his teammates, or in fact, NRG walks away to the finals.